Hey guys, this is Shiny Zekrom and welcome back to our Week 3 Team Builder for the SBL Season 3. This week our opponent is going to be Coach Lux of the Vengeful Volbeats. Now, before we get into our actual team and what it is, we are first going to go over a transaction that I had this week. So, for Week 3, will be having one transaction go through and is effective this week. It is none other than I am trading out Clawitzer. The probably biggest reason, we're going to go over here. The biggest reason I have to say is the speed stat. Clawitzer is so slow that there's no chance it's ever going to outspeed pretty much anything in Draft League format except very few things. So there's almost no point in running speed. So pretty much you gotta run max special attack every single time to get as much damage output as you can. Probably run HP to be able to live some hits better with your alright defenses, and maybe run a little bit in defenses. But pretty much most of the time all you're going to be running is choice specs because you're so slow you can't run a choice scarp option if you're going to be so slow, you know? So I decided to trade him out, Mr. Krabs as I'm calling him, and the teammate that we picked up, Juan the Samurai. Juan, of course, is a reference to the 8th gym leader in Emerald, because he's a water type gym leader and everything. Now, let's go over this. Samurai overall has a higher base stat total than Clawitzer has. I believe Clawitzer is exactly a base 500, while Samurai is a base 528. So that means I'm getting 28 more total stat points in Samurai than I would be Clawitzer. 28 stat points may not seem like much in the long run, but to me it is, because it could be run anything. So let's talk about this. So you might see me clicking back between the two so I can just kind of go over what I'm talking about. So the first thing that is one of the biggest differences between these two, the HP stat is a whole 24 base difference. More HP means that you'll be able to have more bulk to you and be able to live more hits. Like, for example, Samurai with a base 95 HP has over 330 without me even touching it. That's really good. And then if you put 252 EVs into it, you're going to be up to 395. You're almost going to hit 400 HP with this thing. It's really impressive. The next difference is 27 base attack difference. This can make the difference because Samurai could be a double-edged sword. I could run a physical this week, I could run special the next week, I could run both for one, I could be a mixed attacker for 1 week, you never know. While Clawitzer has some physical moves, Samurai has a much more variety move pool as well, which is another big reason I picked it up. The base 3 defense, yeah, it's a little bit of a matter because it means I might live 1 or 2 physical hits a little bit worse than I would with Samurai than I would Clawitzer. But even then, 3 is not going to make too much of a difference. Now, one difference that Clawitzer is better is more of a special attacker. Yes, I lose some special attack, but at the cost of speed, man. If we talk about that real quick, Clawitzer is 120 base special attack, while Samurai has 108. However, Samurai has base 70 speed, while Clawitzer only has 59. So essentially what they're doing is trading, I'm getting less special attack out of Samurai, but it being a little bit faster so it can actually outspeed a couple things compared to Clawitzer. However, Clawitzer would be able to deal a little bit more damage specially, and the trade has 1 stat point difference, but even then, I still like the higher speed, and then the special defense for Samurai is pretty much the biggest loss that I get when it comes to things, losing a base 19. But there's still options like running Assault Vest and running a lot of, special defense EVs to make up for it. And then taking all the base stats into effect, Samurai overall is just much better than Clawitzer, much more variety, can actually be run a couple different things. And compared to Clawitzer, who only has Mega Launcher, I could run Torrent, but I also can have Shell Armor, protecting me from critical hits completely. Critical hits can change the tide of a battle completely. If I can block that out with Samurai, that means if I just run Shell Armor every time I take it, never going to be crit. It's always just going to be straight up damage, whether how I'm going to take that hit and how I calculate. Crits, yes, can matter when calculating, but still, it's one thing to stop them completely. Now with that, I will be right back, and we are going to get started with the Week 3 Team Builder. Just cutting it just so you guys don't have to watch me switch or anything. Be right back. Alright guys, we are back with the Team Builder for Week 3 portion of this video for the Week 3 of SBL. This week, I am facing the Vengeful Volbeats and Coach Lux. Their team is Mega Beedrill, Honchkrow, Salazzle, Leavanny, Kingdra, Keldeo, Chatot, Granbull, Volbeat, Virizion is their Z user, and Alolan Ninetales. Typically a very fast and hard-hitting team, but not very defensive at all. The best defensive, I guess, would be Granbull because of Intimidate, and Alolan Ninetales because it can set up the Aurora Veil. But we bring hard offense and maybe a couple tanks to live some hits. I think we'll be okay this week. My team being Mew, Mandibuzz, Cobalion, Frostlass, Samurott, Silvally, Porygon Z, Buzzwole, Circuitry as my Z user, Darmanitan, and Mega Gardevoir. With Lux's team in mind and my team in mind, I think I have 6 that I'm going to bring. One of which is mainly a test one, but it's also going to be the debut of 4 members, the last 4 that I have not used throughout the first 2 weeks. Starting off is Mystery the Shiny Mew, holding a Life Orb with the ability Synchronize, Rock Polish, Flamethrower, Psychic, and Thunderbolt. Let me bring up EVs really quickly. So, the 192 Timid Speed with Mew, we have 252 Special Attack and 64 Defense as well with Timidate. So the 192 Timid Speed allows me to outspeed Max Speed Jolly Leavanny by 1 point, and if I set up 1 Rock Polish, which, spoilers, is one of my moves in the moveset, 1 Rock Polish allows us to outspeed Mega Beedrill by like over 100 points of speed. Doesn't really matter because I'm doubling the speed. And the 64 defense is to try and live physical hits, because if you saw Lux's team, it's very physically oriented with a couple things that are special in there, but it's mostly a physical team. Now, the moveset for Mew I have this week is Rock Polish, Flamethrower, Psychic, and Thunderbolt. I have 252 special attack to output as much damage as I can, and whatchamacallit, to have as much damage as I can. The speed is to, like I said, to barely outspeed Leavanny, and the 64 defense is, like I said, to lift some physical hits fire. Now, Flamethrower, the reason I have this brought in is a lot of things on Lux's team is weak to fire. We have the Mega Beedrill who's weak to it, Leavanny is weak to it, Volbeat is weak to it, Virizion is weak to it, and you also have Alolan Ninetales. So right off the bat, that's just about half of Lux's team weak to one move that I put on Mew. One move. Psychic, of course, not only for stab, but it also gives us something super effective against the Keldeo. Also gives us another option for Virizion, another option for Mega Beedrill, another option for Salazzle, just those kind of things. And Thunderbolt was kind of more of another reason to hit Keldeo, but I'm more so maybe thinking about running Sludge Wave on it instead, because this would give us options to be able to hit Granbull, but I'm really thinking Granbull is not going to come. And I guess Thunderbolt also gives us an option for Honchkrow to be super effective, so I guess maybe, yeah, keeping Thunderbolt might be a good idea. Now, The Life Orb is 2 just because I have to run Timid in order to outspeed Leavanny. I went with the Life Orb to be able to boost the power of these moves just by a little bit more, so I can get more damage output out of it. And with that, we're going to move on to our next teammate. So that was the debut of Mew. We also had the debut of Titano the Darmanitan, holding a Choice Scarf with the ability Sheer Force. Moves are Earthquake, Flare Blitz, Rock Slide, and U-Turn. A form of Pivot in my team, but it is also there to hit you extremely hard. The Earthquake is just to be able to hit Salazzle super effectively, so it is not pretty much stalling, you know, half of my moveset, be able to have something super effective against it. And it gives me some neutral options against some other things. Flare Blitz, I've already said, Mega Beedrill, Leavanny, Volbeat, Virizion, and Alolan Ninetales are not going to take a Flare Blitz. Even if they are all physically defensive, not a single one of them is going to live a hit. Oh, and I keep, if I don't mention it, I also keep forgetting Volbeat, so... Oh wait, no, that isn't Blitz. I'm sorry, never mind. But yeah, so Flare Blitz is just extremely strong. There's only 2 things on Lux's entire team that actually resist the Flare Blitz, being the Kingdra, who 4 times resists it, and Keldeo, who only 2 times resists it. So yeah. Rock Slide gives me options to hit the Honchkrow super effectively, as well as another option for Mega Beedrill, Salazzle, Leavanny, Volbeat, Virizion, or not Virizion, excuse me, but Alolan Ninetales. And the U-turn is basically kind of as a pivot move, like if I don't think I'm really going to be safe in a matchup, I can just U-turn out of there and go into something that I feel would be a little bit more appropriate. So, the EVs, let's go into that. 252 with Adamant Nature and Attack, 240 Speed, and 16 HP. 252 Attack with Adamant Nature is to be able to deal as much damage as possible to completely obliterate Lux's team. We have 240 Speed, which this just allows us to outspeed max Speed EV's Jolly Beedrill by 1 point, and the HP is just to have a little bit more health for hits, although Darmanitan with its defenses both being 55, it's not really going to live another move, but its base HP is kind of why I decided to put the 16 in there, because it really wouldn't matter if I put it into defenses, because it's not really going to live a hit regardless. And otherwise, that is our Darmanitan. And it is supposed to be male, I forgot to set that, so let me set that really quickly. Yeah. Next up is we have Frost Queen the Frostlass, female, holding a Focus Sash with the ability of Cursed Body with a moveset of Destiny Bond, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, and Ice Beam. Now, Frostlass here is mainly meant to be just an all-out special attacker, but also has the option to Destiny Bond to be able to catch something off guard. Like, see maybe 2 or 3 of my moves and think, okay, Lux might think, okay, you might not have Destiny Bond on this thing. Well, the Destiny Bond is to be able to catch out anything that I can when Frostlass is low HP. Something gets an attack off, and Frostlass just perishes, but that Pokemon against me is also going to get KO. The Thunderbolt is to be able to hit the Honchkrow, Keldeo super effectively. You know, just to have some super effective damage, because Keldeo can definitely stall out one of my 2 other moves, as well as Honchkrow can as well. The Shadow Ball is to mainly have a Ghost type stab. It really isn't super effective on anything. In fact, Chatot is immune to it, and Honchkrow is neutral with it. Otherwise, Shadow Ball is mainly there as my mostly neutral form of stab. And then Ice Beam is another form of stab, but also gives me something for Honchkrow, Leavanny, something, another neutral move against Kingdra that'll do a little bit more. Super effective on the Chatot and the Virizion as well. I have 252 in special attack to output my damage as much as possible. I have 248 plus Timid Nature in speed, which this will allow me to outspeed a timid Alolan Ninetales by 1.8 defense. Is try and live physical hits better, but it's not really going to happen Frostlass is pretty much there just to maybe get off a hit or two, and then Destiny Bond and get rid of something. Pretty plain and simple. Next up, the only member that will be making its, I believe, three-peat. We have Flaps the Mandibuzz. Female holding leftovers with the ability of Big Pecs with the moveset of Brave Bird, Defog, Knockoff, and Ruse. Let's do this. So Brave Bird is mainly as a form of stab move to be able to actually hit stuff. And this Brave Bird is super effective against Mega the Beedrill, Leavanny, Keldeo, Volbeat, Virizion. So right there, 5 Pokemon weak to it. Mega Beedrill with a base 40 defense, it does not live a Brave Bird. Even if I was uninvested, it doesn't live a Brave Bird unless it has like a whole ton of HP and defense investment, which typically Mega Beedrills almost never run. They're almost always full attack, full speed, with maybe a little bit like special defense or HP or something, or maybe even its defense to maybe live a couple moves. But I don't anticipate Lux to bring a Mega Beedrill that has like any defense at all. So Brave Bird kills that, and unless Virizion is very physically bulky invested, that also gets one shot by Brave Bird as well. Volbeat with its defenses, I believe could live one, but it's more than likely it's not going to, and Keldeo definitely can, but it's still going to take a lot of damage, and chip damage is the name of the game this week, pretty much. I noticed I didn't bring Stealth Rocks on this team, and I kind of feel bad for that. But I only really have one option for it, so I really should think about maybe 2 options, and I really should think about that. But anyways, there's Brave Bird. Knockoff is the dark form of stab. It also helps me get rid of any items that any Pokemon could have, such as maybe a possible Light Clay, Ninetales for Aurora Veil, something like that. Roost, of course, to be able to heal my HP back up, to be able to tank more hits. And Defog is there mainly for one big reason. If Leavanny comes, I do not want it setting up sticky webs at all. Nada. Zip, zada, zilch. I don't want that happening. There's also Toxic Spikes that Mega Beedrill can set up, but besides that, none of the other teammates that Lux have really have any hazards. But Sticky Web is the main one I'm concerned with, because, anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, so the Defog. The Sticky Webs can really worry me, especially because I have, a Scarf Darmanitan, as well as Mew will get slowed down, and Circuitry, who, spoilers, is going to be my next teammate, and another teammate of mine who can get slowed down, but I really don't want that happening. Especially with the Choice Scarf Darmanitan, and Circuitry has a little bit of a speed kind of thing that will be going on with it, and the last one, of course, just to be able to land points, but it's pretty slow anyway. So my investments this week are 248 HP, 252 defense with Impulse Nature, and 8 attack. 8 attack to be able to have a little bit more damage output within Mandibuzz to be able to hit a little bit harder, like against Mega Beedrill, the Keldeo, Virizion, and such. 252 Impish with the 248 HP. It's basically just to live those physical hits as best as possible. We have the Mega Beedrill with Adaptability, which X Scissor and Poison Jab, I believe, become 3-hit KOs with my defense, and with it being a 3-hit KO, if I send Mandibuzz right in with 100% HP, Mega Beedrill will not even deal half damage to me. I Brave Bird it, it's gone. Goodbye. It's not living it. And then, of course, like I said, for Virizion, this can help me with close combat if it decides to run physical a little bit and be able to tank those hits a little bit better. Without further ado, we're going on to our 5th teammate, which is the Christmas, the Shiny Circuitry, holding the Psychium Z with the ability Beast Boost, with the moveset Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam, Hidden Power Fire, and Hypnosis. Alright, I'm going to try and play that Z Hypnosis boost. I really didn't need Circuitry last week at all, which is why I really didn't get to use this, and I want to try and use this week, and Circuitry with the moveset I have for it, I believe if I'm not mistaken, hits at least 8 of Lux's Pokemon super effectively. So the Thunderbolt, of course, is my main form of stab. This hits the Honchkrow, the Keldeo, the Chatot, all super effectively. We have the Dazzling Gleam, which will add a super effective on the Kingdra, and then the Hidden Power Fire, with what Thunderbolt doesn't hit super effectively. Mega Beedrill, Leavanny, Volbeat, Virizion, and Alolan Ninetales. I'm sorry, Virizion does get hit by the Dazzling Gleam super effectively, but even then, as I say, I believe that was 8 teammates. The only ones we don't hit super effectively with this moveset that Circuitry has is the Salazzle, the Granbull, and the... No, I think that's actually 9. Yeah, I think we hit 9 of Lux's Pokemon super effectively. Yeah, it's only Salazzle and Granbull, but even then, neither of them are going to want to take Thunderbolts that much. With 252 special attack, 252 and timid speed, this and 4 defense. Defense still with physical hits better, but I don't really anticipate that really happening with Circuitry. 252 special attack to be able to deal as much damage as possible, and of course the Psychium Z with Hypnosis will give me a +1 in speed, multiplying my speed by 1.5 times, and that actually gets me up to 436.5 speed, which, if it gets rounded up, actually I run into a speed tie with Jolly Mega Beedrill. If it's adamant, I will actually outspeed it. It does have a little bit more bulk in special defense, but it doesn't live 2 Thunderbolts. Now, Circuitry, if I can get this thing going, and especially if it gets Beast Boosts going, things are not gonna like hits from Circuitry at all. It'll just start sweeping and getting a bunch of one-shots. And with that, what was I gonna say? Actually, I think that was it. The last teammate that we're bringing is Juan, the Samurai, who we just picked up this week. Male, holding the Assault Vest with the ability of Shell Armor. Moveset is Dragon Tail, Surf, Air Slash, and Ice Beam. Alright, let's get going with the moveset before we go to EVs. The Assault Vest, I wanted it to hold because I need something that could tank some special hits, and with their special defense investment and the Assault Vest, we should be living special hits pretty well, and be able to deal lots of damage back with the special attack investment I have. Now, the moveset. Dragon Tail. I am a Calm Nature, so Dragon Tail's damage output will be lowered a little bit, but this is to hit the Kingdra super effectively, and in case it wants to set Dragon Dances up, I can Dragon Tail it with Samurott, get rid of it, and then reset myself. So, Kingdra, there we have the Dragon Tail for it. Surf, it's only super effective against the Salazzle and quite a few things resist, but that's why we have a couple of the other moves. So, with the addition of Air Slash, we had super effective on Mega Beedrill, Leavanny, Keldeo, who would normally resist the Surf, Volbeat, and Virizion. So up to just those 3 moves right there were super effective on 7 of Lux's team. We had the Ice Beam in, we had something super effective against the Honchkrow, and the Chatot. So pretty much the only things we are not super effective against with this moveset is the Alolan Ninetales and the Granbull. But as I've said, I'm heavily thinking Granbull is not going to come here. It could, but I have more than enough ways to prepare for it, and especially it is a base 45 speed, so everything here is going to outspeed it unless it has some speed investment in places. And the EVs we went with are 252 in special attack to be able to deal as much damage as possible, 216 plus special defense with Assault Vest. It allows us to live, the special hits as best as we can, and the 40 HP to add, a little bit of bulk to Samurott with the special defense that we're going, and Calm Nature to be able to boost that special defense just a little bit more as well. And with that, that is going to take us through our Week 3 Team Builder, as well as the one transaction that happened for us this week. If I haven't mentioned it, real quickly to mention, you get 3 transactions and as many trades between teams as possible. We have 11 weeks in total before playoffs, so this is transaction number 1, and is taking place week 3. So in other words, I have 2 transactions for the next 8 weeks, so if I have to do it, every 4 weeks from here on out, one transaction is available to me. I'm not going to try and waste them right away unless I know I need it. But with that, and if I didn't mention Samurai's ability Shell Armor because I didn't want those critical hits. Anyways, thank you guys for watching the Week 3 Team Builder, and we'll be back with the battle in the next part. See you guys then.